We're doing We Talk episode 3? I'm saying with a question mark because I'm not actually sure. We're going to go over the VGX awards. Now, I'm not going to waste too much time talking about the VGX show because I heard it was a crap fest. You know what? If you take somebody, the two hosts of the show, one doesn't want to be there and the other one doesn't know what he's talking about, you're going to have a bad show. And it's kind of bad that the industry is going in that way where it's just like the production was just so bad. I didn't even watch it, but I just heard bad things. But I don't even care about that. I just want to go over the awards because of how relevant those are. I have them listed here, right here in front of me. We're going to go up to Game of the Year. By the way, you're probably looking at the... no surprise, Game of the Year was Grand Theft Auto 5, so what you're looking at is Grand Theft Auto 5 footage. So, first of all, most anticipated game, which I do agree with, is Titanfall. The other nominees being South Park: The Stick of Truth, which was probably in development forever now. Destiny is a good game. Watch Dogs I'm looking forward to. Witcher 3, Wild Hunt. Destiny and Watch Dogs I'm definitely looking forward to. So I agree with that category. Best soundtrack, and that is Grand Theft Auto 5 wins. The nominees being BioShock Infinite, Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch, and then The Last of Us. Now, I want to ask you guys, I don't know what the difference between score and soundtrack is. Because if it's soundtrack being as in like the music in any sort of game, just, you know, the underlining B-roll, or not B-roll rather, B-roll would be video. The underlining audio of a game, why the hell isn't Assassin's Creed 4 nominated? Because Assassin's Creed 4 had a kick-ass soundtrack. BioShock Infinite was good in areas, but it was like, I don't know, it shouldn't have been nominated. Last of Us was good. I don't know anything about Ni no Kuni or anything like that, but friggin', come on now, give me Assassin's Creed 4. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5 uses music that's like artists, so it's not even their music. It's not, I mean, I don't know, it's just a bunch of lists of artists and music, and I don't know. I guess it would win, but I'm not really, whatever, we're moving on. Best voice actress was Ashley Johnson as Ellie for the game The Last of Us. The other nominees being Courtney Draper as Elizabeth for BioShock Infinite, Camilla Ludington as Lara Croft for Tomb Raider. The list is in front of me, and I'm just going to like butcher anybody's name. And we have Ellen Page as Jodie Holmes in Beyond Two Souls. I honestly think that Courtney Draper should have gotten this one, but I'm totally understanding the fact that Ashley Johnson did get the award for Ellie. She did a great job in The Last of Us, and I don't know, I just feel like that's a nod to Courtney Draper. If it wasn't going to be Ashley Johnson, it was going to be Courtney Draper, and if it wasn't going to be Courtney Draper, it was going to be Ashley Johnson. It was definitely going to be one of the two. Best voice actor was Troy Baker as Joel The Last of Us. Now here's an interesting thing. First of all, I think it should have been Stephen Ogg, I think I'm saying that right, as Trevor Phillips for Grand Theft Auto 5. That guy killed it. But the fact that Troy Baker was nominated in the same category twice, he did it for as Joel, and then he did it as Booker DeWitt for BioShock Infinite. I don't know. I just think that was like a, you know, it'd be like he had two chances at it. I guess it was kind of justified considering how good of a job he did in both games, and both games are actually just outrageously good. But I do still feel like the guy who did Trevor Phillips should have gotten this one. But I'm not disappointed that Troy Baker doing Joel in The Last of Us is what actually ended up coming out. And now we're going to move on to these next two awards, which is Best PlayStation Game and Best Xbox Game, because I'm starting to get, like, I don't fully understand the premise of a Best PlayStation Game or Best Xbox Game. The Best PlayStation Game being The Last of Us, and the Best Xbox Game being Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. I'm not saying that those two are wrong. It's the nominees that get me confused, and the premise on why is this game that best game? Because The Last of Us is obviously a PlayStation exclusive. It would have won that regardless, no matter what was nominated. And then the Xbox Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons was also an Xbox exclusive. The problem is the nominees. They are not exclusives because you can get them on all platforms. For PlayStation, the nominees were Grand Theft Auto 5, Rayman Legends, and Tomb Raider. For the Xbox, it was BioShock Infinite, Grand Theft Auto 5, and then Tomb Raider. Number one, why was Rayman nominated for PlayStation and not BioShock Infinite? I don't understand that. And also, none of those, like I said, are exclusive to those platforms. So, is it a game, like, did those two games win just simply because that they were the only exclusives in a group of non-exclusives? It didn't make any sense to me. I do agree The Last of Us should have gotten the PlayStation game. I don't know if I'm gonna tell you right now that the Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons is gonna come up in a later We Talk episode. But Brothers, great, absolutely phenomenal. It was so beautifully done. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying Bioshock Infinite should have beaten it. If it was nominated, or even Grand Theft Auto 5 should have beaten both of them, if we're going to go with that exclusivity. But apparently it's like, all right, well, these two games were the only exclusives, so by default they win. If it were all non-exclusives, then yes, Grand Theft Auto 5 or Bioshock Infinite would win. It didn't make any sense to me, but that's just me. Best DLC, Far Cry 3, Blood Dragon. Have played it. Great one. I agree with this. The nominees being Borderlands 2, Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep. I've never played, or I have played Borderlands 2, just not my cup of tea. I'm not saying it's a bad game, just not something I'm into. Dishonored, The Knife of Dunwall. Have it downloaded. Haven't played it yet. Mass Effect 3, Citadel being the third nominee. Also, again, I'm a huge Mass Effect fan. I'm over the top of Mass Effect fan. Have the DLC Citadel downloaded. Again, have not played it. But I do agree with this one. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon was so filled with references to old sci-fi movies that it just made fans of that genre just completely over the top happy. It kind of went over my head considering I was born in the 90s and I didn't really actually go back and watch any of those movies, but I did get some of the references, so I'm not a complete idiot. Best action adventure game was Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I do agree with that, simply on the fact that that was the only real open world game aside from Grand Theft Auto 5. The other nominees being Grand Theft Auto 5, The Last of Us, and Tomb Raider. The Last of Us and Tomb Raider are actually, they're not open world, but they are kind of action adventure. They're very actiony. They're both great games. Grand Theft Auto 5 will probably be the number 2, but I feel like the more adventure kind of thing was more for the Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag area. I do agree with this one. Best shooter. Now, Bioshock Infinite wins. The nominees being Battlefield 4, Call of Duty Ghosts, and Metro Last Light, which I forgot even came out in 2013. Battlefield 4, I believe, would have won if it worked. It's kind of broken. It's plagued by so many glitches and bugs and issues, and it crashes. It crashes on me all the time. And that's why it's probably not going to make many awards, and it's probably not going to make many people's top whatever game list of 2013. Bioshock Infinite, I totally agree with that one. Simply on the premise that Battlefield 4 is broken, and Call of Duty Ghosts is not the best Call of Duty game out there. Metro Last Light, kind of forgot you were even out this year. Character of the Year was the Lutece twins for Bioshock Infinite. Again, I agree, but don't agree. Lara Croft for Tomb Raider was nominated. Trevor Phillips for Grand Theft Auto 5 was nominated. Here I go. I'm going to butcher these again. Nai and Naya, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. I'm assuming that those are the two names of the brothers, which I don't even know. I never knew that. I honestly feel like Trevor Phillips should have won this one. Trevor Phillips for Grand Theft Auto 5. He was just a complete loose cannon. He was so beautifully. The voice acting for that was so good. The animation for that was so good, and the writing for him was so good. It was just, everything was so good. But I could say the exact same thing for the Lutece twins. Again, it's either one or the other. You know, the Lutece twins. If it wasn't going to be them, it was going to be Trevor Phillips. If it wasn't Trevor Phillips, it would have been the Lutece twins. If somebody were to say, what's your character of the year, and not give me any of the nominees, and I couldn't pick Trevor Phillips, I probably wouldn't have even thought of the Lutece twins, but unless somebody reminded me. But that being said, I agree, but don't agree. Studio of the Year was Naughty Dogs for The Last of Us. The nominees being Irrational Games for Bioshock Infinite, Rockstar North for Grand Theft Auto 5, and the Fulbright Company for Gone Home, which, by the way, I want to go ahead and say, I don't have no idea what Gone Home is. I've seen it pop up multiple times throughout the VGX Awards. I have no idea what that is. I probably feel a little stupid for saying that, but I just don't know what it is. That being said, I feel like Naughty Dog is justified to getting the nod for putting together a great game like The Last of Us, but it should have gone to Rockstar for Grand Theft Auto 5, because once again they just knocked it out of the park, just creating it's such an immersive game, and not only online but also with the single player as well. Despite the fact that the online did have its issues when it first came out, but just Grand Theft Auto 5 is just such a good game. It's just so awesome and so immersive, and I just think that it should have won Game or Studio of the Year. Game of the Year, like I said earlier, was Grand Theft Auto 5. The nominees being Bioshock Infinite, The Last of Us, And then Tomb Raider, which I didn't understand because Tomb Raider was a great single-player experience, but kind of did not have a very good multiplayer at all. And then Super Mario 3D World made no sense to me. I don't know why it ended up in there, but I feel like Assassin's Creed 4 should have at least gotten a nod, or A Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons should probably also be nominated. I didn't understand why Super Mario 3D World was in. I jumped out of the Nintendo pool when they announced the Wii. I never got the Wii, never got the Wii U, and then just never experienced anything like that. That's basically it. Let's run through this real quick. Most anticipated game was Titanfall. Best soundtrack, Grand Theft Auto 5. Best voice actress, Ashley Johnson for Ellie in The Last of Us. Best voice actor was Troy Baker as Joel for The Last of Us. Best PlayStation game was The Last of Us. Best Xbox game was Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Best DLC was Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Best action adventure game was Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Best shooter was BioShock Infinite. And character of the year was the Lutece twins in BioShock Infinite. Studio of the year, Naughty Dogs for The Last of Us. Game of the year, Grand Theft Auto 5. I agree with the most of this. I agree with the most of the awards. The show itself was a complete, utter disgrace. And kind of is, I mean, it just... They could put together such a... Instead of picking together celebrities that are so shoehorned into the production, they should pick actual people that know what they're talking about. Somebody that can hold a conversation and can entertain people, that can drop a few jokes and be okay with that, and also another guy to give them a support that actually knows what they're talking about. I don't care who you pick. It doesn't even have to be anybody I've never heard of before, but just come on now. Just pick somebody who's just a little bit more... You know, it can give the show a little bit more love than somebody who clearly doesn't want to be there, and somebody who has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. The production people to that, you stupid bastards. That's basically it. That's all I wanted to talk about for the last 12 minutes. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week, because next week, I give you my top 5 best games of 2013. I will see you then. Ba-doo.